power ranking for week 3 of our league, a lot has changed. So I changed a lot of my opinion on a lot of teams. So let's get into it. The first tier, after the week 3 matchup, I believe there are 3 teams right now in the first tier. Um, it's Sky Gary, Doctor Walkby, and Dream Shakers. I'll get into each team. I talk about each team a little bit. So Sky Gary is, the strength of this team is pretty clear, and the weakness is also pretty clear. But he has more strength than weaknesses, obviously. With Jokic being the number 1 guy so far this season, and I think he will continue being really strong. So Gary's team, he's really strong. I talked about this earlier. He's strong in field goal, rebound, assist, steals, and blocks. Right, all those categories are strong. My only concern with this team is that the steals and blocks, they are high variance numbers, and he's got to win both on most matchups. Otherwise, he loses. So what happens if his guys just not getting steals or blocks, which is out of all the categories, those two are obviously the most high variance. So that's something I worry about. And on his team, I think Jrue Holiday has been playing very, very well so far. Getting a lot of steals, 2 steals a game. I don't know if he can sustain this all season. And PJ Washington also has been playing quite well, at least for this week, getting 1.5 blocks. I don't know if this can continue. So a lot of his guys, those started off the season pretty hot. Once those guys cool down, especially getting those defensive stats, I don't know. This team, well, he tied with me this week. I don't know if going forward he'll get wins, easily every single week, right? Due to various reasons. Like I would be much more comfortable if a team is really strong getting like points or threes. Those categories, it's hard. It's a bit harder to lose an assist or rebound. It's a bit harder to lose those categories, assuming all you guys are healthy. But this team is obviously still number 1. His record, this is not updated yet, but he's 2 wins and 1 tie. Sitting on top of the standing. And the second tier, the first tier is Dr. Walkby. I'll talk about his team, why his team is so strong. So after the Harden trade, Harden this year has not performed up to his standards so far. Like Joel Embiid on the per game basis is better than Harden right now. And I don't see any reason on the per game basis. Obviously, Joel Embiid can get hurt anytime. But on the per game basis, Joel Embiid is going to be like in the first round, end of first round area, giving you like 25 points, 12 rebounds, 3 to 4 assists. And he's getting the steals this season. Maybe this will continue. 1 steal and 2 blocks, that's a great efficiency. That's end of first at least, right? So it's just a matter of how many games can he play. Joel Embiid has been really strong. And the other guy, Dr. Warby got back from the trade is our Zach LaVine, right? He's having a breakout season. Not really. He was actually this good. Like he was averaging 25 points, around 25 points last season, 1.3, a lot of 1.4, 1.5 steals, and 0.6 blocks. So his counting stats are really scary. He hits a lot of threes, and he's good. He's a good free throw shooter. His only weakness, he's got 2 weaknesses, is just his low field goal and high turnover. That's mainly Zach LaVine. But he's on Walkby's team. He's been playing really, really well. So just look at across Walkby's team. The reason he's so strong is he got LaMelo Ball at the 75th. So I think moving forward, LaMelo Ball is gonna be top 50 easily. I think if he's given 30 minutes. So that's a really good pick right there. And he picked up DeAndre Hunter, just off the waiver wire, and he's been a top 50 player so far. This week, just averaging like 20 points, 8 rebounds. A steal and some blocks, a block, which is really strong numbers. And he's gonna be up and down, but he's got a nice role. Like look at his minutes. He has had over 30 minutes every single game. Obviously, Gallinari was out, Bogdanovic was out, like those guys. And those guys, even if they come back, they will be hurt. So his role on this team is pretty secure. He's going to get 30 minutes a night, right? So he's going to be also strong moving forward. And also, Waba's got Tyrese Halliburton. This guy, I think, given 30 minutes as a rookie, easily could be top 10. Oh, sorry, not top 50. Like, just look at last week. Obviously, the two steals are not gonna stick, but he's a pretty tall guard, and he's really good defenders. I think he can get 1.5 steals. I don't see a problem with that. Can get you 0.5 blocks, and most importantly, he gets you a lot of assists, and he's a SG PG SG, but he can give you 5-6 assists. That's already good enough. 15 points. That's elite numbers. That's top 15. That's like prime Eric Bledsoe. You know, maybe a little bit more points, but that's really really scary, right? And Wabai drafted this guy like in the ninth round. Okay, not the last round, but still, just like all those guys are really really strong. And obviously he's got DeAndre Ayton, who's been underwhelming. Laurie Markkinen is still out. Tobias Harris has been strong. Andre Drummond. So I think Wapai's got a pretty like a lot of guys on this team that he picked really late and has been performing really well so far this season. And I don't see a reason why those guys won't continue performing. And the last, and also Dream Shakers, he just did a deal with YP getting Doncic. I think that's a really good deal for him. And his team is obviously Chris Middleton has been shooting the ball like great, like 22 points. He can continue to do this. Like his counting stats, he can no problem. He can continue to do this, but it's just the way he does it. The efficiency, 55% shooting, no. 97% free throw, no. Like the counting stats, there's no problem for him to continue. It's just his efficiency is gonna fall off at some point. Like I could see that easily happen. So, and also he traded away Devin Booker. I think is also good. Like you add those two get together, get Doncic back. I think Doncic will be better. I will talk about Doncic later when I talk about YPC. But D Booker, has been strong so far on his team. Not he's getting more steals and blocks, but the assist is down. He was averaging 6 assists. Now it's 4.7, so it's like a 1 or 2 drop off, and his scoring is not as high as previous years. Maybe it's just trying to figure out, and his free throw is kind of low at the moment, but efficiency is up. So maybe he's just trying to figure out how to play with Chris Paul. So I think they're both smart, and he will improve as the season goes on. And then like other players on leaders team is just really scary. Mika Bridges had a career night, and his steal numbers is not here yet. I believe he's a 1.5 steals guy, and he blocks shots, hit threes, high efficiency, low turnovers. This guy is top 50 easily, I think, if you count the turnover. Jason Tatum, obviously, first round, just give you nice stats across the board, but doesn't have one category that stands out. And he's gonna be out for 2 weeks, but his Michael Porter Jr. will be back, and I think Michael Porter Jr. could be like a top 30 player just due to his high efficiency. So just really strong team, I think, and I think he won the trade, trading away Wiggins for Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen has been a monster, playing 30 minutes, and just a lot of guys on this team. Just when I look at it, just really scary. De'Aaron Fox has been underperforming, right? Obviously, Tim Hardaway Jr. is overperforming a bit lately, and Chris Boucher, also a top 50 guy. So on this team, it's got like 7 or 8 top 50 guys, right? In my opinion. So just really scary. Also, I put this team on tier 1. So those are the 3 teams I put on tier 1 at the moment. But obviously things can change. And on tier 2, right now I have to give it to Be More Team Baltimore, and Brooklyn Measles Outbreak. I think those 2 teams, triple double no assist. So those are the tier 2 teams. Obviously, triple double no assist. After this win, he'll be 2-1. Lian's team, he's in the second tier because he's got Cole Anthony. Just a lot of good players. This team, there's not one category that's really strong, but there's not not one category. It's just a well-rounded team overall, I think. Bradley Beal, obviously, a first rounder. Keldon Johnson is going to be, I think, top 50 player. Moving forward, top 50, top 60. Nikola Vucevic, obviously, top 30. John Collins, not having a great season, but he's easily top 50, top 40. CJ McCollum has been overperforming a bit, but he could end up being around top 50 player. Damian Lillard is strong, obviously, and Cole Anthony could be strong. David Bertans is also strong. So I mean, I said a lot of garbage, but overall, I think this team just maybe if you put them together, don't make too much sense because there's not one category that he's really strong or one category he's really weak. But overall, just got a lot of nice players. A lot of players that I like, and he picked up another Wings 2-1. Have to put him in tier 2, right? And then the next team in tier 2, I said earlier is Brooklyn Measles Outbreak. He lost to a tier 1 team this week. There's no shame in that, right? Also, a lot of his guys were out. I still think this team is strong, but I do worry about this team's ability to win points every single week. He's put Rui Hachimura on just 17 points. Okay, give you some points. But Alec Burks, I don't know why he's holding him. But maybe he has high hopes for this guy because the first few games is quite nice. But Julius Randle is taking over, as we can see. Buddy Hield has been disappointing this season, but everybody else on this team, like I like it. I like Fred VanVleet, obviously, easily top 30, top 20. Paul George, okay, Bogdanovic. He does need those points, but Bogdanovic is not gonna give you those. Larry Nance Jr. I like, but he's got a time stamp on him. Jaylen Brown I like, Kyle Lowry I like, Draymond Green I like, Marcus Smart. Although Draymond Green may not fit his team very well due to just such low scoring. He give you everything else, just the scoring is too low. While you're trying to win points every single week. Marcus Smart I like, but just not a lot of points, right? Trae Young I like, and then the rest of guys, okay, Darius Garland I like, but the rest of the guys, not really too high on them. But so they're like seven guys I like on his team, and he's got the guard strategy, right? Punting full categories. So I think this team is still scary. Like it's competitive versus any team. But if he's against a team that has a lot of scoring, he's gonna struggle for sure, I think. But yeah, obviously some guys are also overperforming. Jaylen Brown is overperforming by a lot. With once Kemba comes back, he's not gonna average like 26 points. He's more like a 20-point scorer. But I still put this team in the tier 2, even though he lost to a tier 1 team this week. And another team in this series is Be More Team Baltimore. I talk about YP's team. YP has had a monster week, and he just made another traded away Doncic, and got not Brogdon. He got Middleton and what's the other guy he got? Devin Booker. I don't really like this trade for YP. I can talk a little bit, if it makes sense. But YP's team, if you look at his team, he's got a lot of nice players. I'm not gonna lie, he's strong because he got Julius Randle in 7th round. He's strong because he got John Wall. Actually, he got John Wall at 50th, so a good pick, but not that good of a pick. And he's got Brandon Ingram pretty late. Okay, never mind. He drafted Brandon Ingram in the 2nd round. He got Malcolm Brogdon pretty late, 47th, and he got Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier has been really strong this year, average 20 points and 1.5 steals, but this guy's gonna cool off. I bet money on it. This guy's gonna cool off as LaMelo Ball gonna take over. He's not gonna average 20 points this season, I don't believe, and he's not a big steals guy. And he averaged 2.3 steals last week. Career-wise, he's like a 1 steal guy. He's not the stealing numbers is gonna fall off. Same thing with Malcolm Brogdon. I don't think he's gonna average 23 points. I think it's maybe 20, 19, 7 assists, I believe. Not 1.8 steals. Just Brogdon, just like last year, he started off the season really, really hot, and then he started having some injury issues because his minutes were so high. And I think Luka Doncic kind of underperformed first couple weeks. He traded a guy that's underperforming, right? He didn't trade away a guy that's overperforming to get guys that, I don't think that the trade makes too much sense because, sure, he gets a little bit more points, but not that much, right? Because Luka Doncic is going to average close to 30, and Luka Doncic gets you a lot of rebounds. So I think both his assists and rebound are going to suffer, right? Those two guards, they get like 5 each. So Luka is gonna average 9, right? So you lose out a lot of assists because you can just get another guy 3-4 assist guy easily, and you lose a lot of rebounds, right? Luka Doncic average more rebounds than both those guys combined, and now those guys give you huge defensive stats. But we'll see, right? We'll see how this turns out. But YP's team overall pretty strong. I think, good points, good assists, good rebound. I don't really think he was saying that he has a lot of steals, but he's actually one of the weakest steals team in the league, in my opinion. Just looking at it, there's only one steals guy, John Wall, and nobody in Cousins, but he's playing 16 minutes a game at the moment, right? Everybody else is not a big steals guy, and his blocks he doesn't have a lot of blocks, but those counting stats is there, but his efficiency is not great. So we'll just have to see how this trade works out for him. But he had a really strong week so I put him in tier 2. And let's talk about the tier 3 teams, right? I put my team in tier 3, and I put Kawhi Leonard's laughing in tier 3, although he has a lot of injuries right now. So sorry, he has too many injuries right now. I can't put him in tier 3. I'll put Team Will's team, Falcone, in tier 3. I'll put, even though Team Sheep is 0-3, I'm gonna go out and say he's in tier 3, and I think Kawhi Leonard's laugh is in tier 3. I'll talk about each team a little bit. My team, so I'm 1-1 right now. 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie. My team is obviously, if Harden start trying, like, my team will be really, really scary. I got Harden and Curry carry me all those guard stats, and I got Donovan Mitchell, and I got a bunch of other guards and Gordon Hayward has been strong this year. So the only thing that my team needs to improve on is steals and blocks, right? You can, those are 2 high variance stats. If I think my team has decent steals, but so far just losing steals almost every week. And I need more blocks, obviously. When JJJ comes back, you give me a nice boost in blocks. And just gotta, I guess pick up a couple other big men, and I'll be competitive versus a lot of teams in blocks. So far, 1-1 in tier 3 right now. And another team in tier 3 right now is King Sheep. Even though he's 0-3, but hey, his Kyrie is out. Oh, his Thomas Bryant just got destroyed, but his Kemba Walker is coming back, right? So he's Kyrie and AD. When you got Kyrie and AD on your team, and they're both healthy, there's not one team in the league that will be like, hey, I am not afraid. He also got Christian Wood. So he has just, although Yusuf Nurkic has been a bust, Victor Oladipo has been playing well. So his team got a lot of players that I like. Right, like in top 20, he's got 3 players, right? Christian Wood, AD. AD and Kyrie are both top 5 on a per game basis. So his team overall is nice. He's just having some injuries at the moment, I think. So I'll put this team in tier 3. I think this team can make the playoffs. Look at the current roster. And then the last team in this tier is Team Will. Right, everybody else is in tier 4. To talk about each one. And Team Will, lost this week, destroyed by Team Baltimore, but Team Baltimore just, he would destroy every team this week. Just had such a huge week, 56 steals, a bunch of points, rebound, assists. This team, I still like this team. I like a lot of guys on this team. Obviously, Russell Westbrook destroy your percentages, but he's pounding free throw. This team is pounding free throw because he's got LeBron and Zion Williamson. Sabonis has been a really great pick so far. A lot of players I like this team. Zion Williamson, Mitchell Robinson having a huge year so far. I like Sabonis. I like Dante DiVincenzo. But half of his roster I don't like. I don't like Zubac. Harrell actually fits his team. I like Mason Plumlee as well. So just say, hey, like on this team, obviously drop Lou Will. He's against me this week. I'm just giving him some of the secrets. Drop Lou Will, Anthony Edwards, I don't know, Paul Millsap. So a lot of guys that he could drop and make his team better. He's not doing it. Maybe if he makes some changes, he'll be tier 2 because his core players are quite nice. So that's it for tier 3, and the last tier is Nate Robinson knockout, Tim Patel, and the Kawhi Leonard's laugh, right? So let me get into each one. So Nate Robinson knockout. This team, he is still not using the IR, right? But Porzingis is coming back Monday, and Siakam has been playing pretty well. He's got some nice pieces on this team. Jeremy Grant. Don't talk about like what's nice on his team, right? Seth Curry is nice, although he's out for COVID. Lonzo Ball is nice. Kristaps Porzingis is nice. If he can stay healthy, he'll be top 20 player. Giannis is nice. Jamal Murray is nice. Siakam is nice. Harrison Barnes is a rosterable. You can roster this guy in a 12 team this year. He's been putting up pretty nice stats, honestly. Jeremy Grant is nice. He's got nice pieces. He just needs to play the game, I think. He needs to drop DeAndre Jordan. He needs to put the guy in his IR. That's the first thing. I think once he's do that, he will no longer be the last tier. He's got some nice player on his team. It just doesn't make sense when you have Giannis. So you basically pounding free throws, right? And then drafted Jamal Murray, who's a somewhat good free throw shooter. And I think you should go the pound free throw route. But okay, this team is in last year, and then Tim Patel, Vignish's team. Vignish's team, like his best players are nice. Although Jimmy Butler has been just missing games, and he's also questionable next Tuesday. It's hard to pick up wins when your team is, the second round player is missing out on all those games. Jimmy Butler has had quite a nice week, right? Look at this week's stats, right? Last 7 days, 23 points, 7 rebounds, just nice stats overall, high efficiency. Kevin Durant obviously is also out, so he's had a tough week. But just so many guys I don't like. Aaron Baines, he's not getting minutes. Obviously, gotta drop this guy. Whiteside gotta drop this guy. Duncan Robinson, just right off the bat, I can see about 4 guys you can drop. Shake Milton is, out due to COVID. So a lot of improvement this team can make, and a lot of good guys on the waiver wire. You just have to find them, right? And the last team in the tier is Kawhi Leonard. I think this team is in the tier 2, tier 3 range, but because of all the injuries, I would give up too. But he's not putting the guy in the IR. John Moran has been out for a while. You gotta put this guy in IR. I like he made a couple good picks. Mike Conley, Richaun Holmes. His top 2 picks, and he's got Miles Turner. Oh man, this team, I think fully healthy and managed well, is tier 2. I think it's tier 2 for sure. Miles Turner, oh boy. Once Kelly Oubre starts playing better, oh boy, watch out, right? So I think this team's potential is tier 2 at the moment. It's just a lot of injuries. That's it for all the teams. I'll do another power ranking next week. See you guys.